Jump off that exhausting hamster wheel and into balanced living with Dr. Marissa.
Promise you joy in the mystery.
Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah. Her mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate to live, laugh, love, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pei.
And welcome. You're tuned into Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show. And so glad you're here every morning, Monday through Friday, 8 to 9 on KCAA, AM 1050, FM 102.3, FM 106.5, covering broadcast area of 5 million or more. I just found out from Rick in the morning that he heard me in the morning in Palm Springs. So my splattering of more hope and happiness goes even beyond where I thought. So I'm so glad you've joined me. And those of you who are just wondering why I sound so positive on a Monday, it's because it's part of my Happy 88 mission. 88 more happy people, 88 million more happy people in the next 8 years. And that's why I'm here. Because why do I want more happy people? Because that's the only way that we're going to get out of the negative thinking habits that we have accumulated, that we've forgotten how to be humankind with the capital on the K, and that we are not as healthy as we could be because our physical health is, by all the scientific studies now, tied into our mental health. And certainly the pandemic has given us pause, given us a challenge on staying positive, on staying healthy, physically, mentally, emotionally. So that's why I say what I say and do what I do and bring on guests. Today is no difference. I'm highlighting those people in the community who are doing things to help. So today in the second and third segments, you're going to be delighted by a doctor that I met. Some of you know I do on location work, reporting live, hashtag Dr. Marissa reporting live. You can see my stories on my social. I freelance for a New York news agency that sends me to a lot of different places, and some of them are fabulous examples of community politicians, neighbors, helping neighbors. So I get to bring them on the show or talk about them or show them the videos. So today, Dr. Monique Hedmann is going to come and speak to us about vaccination hesitancy in the African American and Black communities, and also about art therapy and Alzheimer's. So if you've just tuned in and you know someone who might benefit from listening and learning from those topics, please do invite them to come and listen to the show. And I just wanted to acknowledge some fabulous people that I got to meet this weekend, covering several Juneteenth events. Juneteenth Long Beach was a fabulous success, the first one ever in Long Beach. It was a huge celebration, fabulous music. There was a lot of helpful vendors. It was sponsored. There was a beautiful art gallery that I got to interview the curator of, and it's called Self-Sovereignty. I still believe it's up. Catalyst Cares is helping music changing lives, and those organizations are helping to bring art and music to help change lives. And so check them out, as well as kudos to Carl, who did a great job with the music lineup. My buddy Andre was there from Stevie Wonder Station, introducing Eric Benet, who I got a little soundbite backstage, so you can see all of those clips on my social. I'm Doc Balance on Instagram, Dr. Marissa everywhere else. And What else? Oh, some really cool community happenings, some organizations. One that I've covered before, it's the Dodgers Foundation, and they had a Juneteenth celebration that was just a return. I had no idea. They give all kids a pair of sneakers, nice sneakers, I believe a ball and a bat to play. Obviously, Dodger fans. And they also have a vision truck to test vision for free. They have food distribution. I caught up with the CEO. I'm going to be bringing her video later on this week and might bring her on to talk about what they're doing. I thought it was incredible. So that was another Juneteenth event I got to cover. And then the vaccination hesitancy East LA conference. That was a great event, and I got to do a sound bite with a super tall, nice guy, the NFL Hall of Famer, Anthony Munoz. I hope I said that right. And he's doing wonderful things. I love to highlight stars or celebrities who are taking their limelight and helping shine it on areas of temporary darkness. And he definitely was a wonderful example of that. There was politicians, assemblymen there who were really helping, Assembly Member Miguel Santiago, as well as Senator Maria Elena Durazo and Jimmy Gomez, who I got a little soundbite with. But Anthony, who played with the Cincinnati Bengals, he's in the NFL Hall of Famers. He was just wonderful in encouraging those who are hesitant to get vaccine in the Latino communities that you're not going to be checked for your immigration. So get a vaccination if that's what's holding you back. We want to get herd immunity. And I have Dr. Monique coming to actually explain what that is. So please do come back. We'll be right back here. I'm Dr. Marissa reporting live from my living room on your drive in or wherever you are right now on Take My Advice, I'm Not Using It. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show on KCAA, the station that leaves no listener behind. Be right back and come back. And welcome back. You are tuned into Take My Advice, I'm Not Using It. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show. And it is a beautiful morning. And as usual, I have fabulous people to introduce you to who shine the light on areas that we just need a little more help. And I love, some of you know, that I get to travel around and go on location and cover news for a New York news agency that then offers the clips to local TV stations. So you might have seen all of my coverage of Juneteenth events or vaccination events. And at one of those events, I was lucky enough to meet our next guest. And it was actually in front of the UCLA Harbor Hospital. And she is a doctor. Let me just read a little bit about her. Monique Hedmann Maxey is a rising second-year family medicine resident at Harbor UCLA Medical Center and serves as a delegate for CIR Committee of Interns and Residents. She is an advisory board member for Hip Hop Public Health and is featured on its Community Immunity Project. And we're going to actually see a couple of those clips. And The headliner on those is none other than DMC. I just found that out. She's also a board member of Arts and Minds. So if you are vaccine hesitant, or you know someone who is, if you are African American or know someone who is that still is hesitant about taking the vaccine, or you know someone with Alzheimer's, then you'll want to get them to tune in right now, because that's what we'll be talking about. So without further ado, please welcome to my studio, Dr. Monique Hedmann. Welcome. I'm so grateful that we've got to make this work, and that you're here sharing your expertise, both as a doctor and as someone who cares about two different communities right now. So let's go ahead and talk about DMC. First of all, she sent me the clips, and I was very impressed with the clips, but I didn't recognize DMC from his cartoon avatar. So tell me about this project.
Well, I have been involved with public health from the beginning of this nonprofit when we first started. And I've always been a major hip hop fan, a major hip hop head, ever since I was a child. And it was just a dream come true to work with some of the founders and the originators of the culture within this nonprofit for such a righteous cause of promoting health in Black and Brown communities. And so Hip Hop Public Health has used hip hop, animation, and other multimedia efforts to engage communities of color around issues of health, including childhood obesity, stroke, Alzheimer's, high blood pressure, you name it. But when the pandemic first happened, I got a call from my mentor, Dr. Elijah Day Williams, who is the founder of Hip Hop Public Health. And he just said, Mo, we have to do something. We have to address this. And I just said, no question. We absolutely, we have to step up for this. And so, he reached out to DMC. And I have so much respect and love for DMC for being willing to use his platform for such an important issue of getting folks vaccinated to fight this pandemic. And so we got together, we got in the studio, we wrote our lyrics. I'm featured on the last two videos 4 and 5. And each video, there's 5 in total, that are addressing different issues about around COVID and around the vaccine, to try to dispel some of the myths and disinformation that's being circulated, so that people can get the vaccine, understand why they're getting it, why it's important, and how it will help us to stay clear and free and safe from COVID.
Beautiful. Beautiful. And I love the fact that I get to actually show these now. I'm going to show the first one, which actually features DMC, and then go to you rapping, which I was so impressed with when I saw that. We got the vaccine, they got the vaccine, we got the vaccine. We can get back to normal, let me inform you, let's all get the vaccine. And it's about community immunity. I'm talking unity for you and me. If Doc says it's good, then trust me, it's good. Now let's all get the vaccine. Alright, there is none higher. DMC, I will inspire. Time for us to trust and not debate. The vaccine, believe it's safe to take. 9 out of 10 people won't get sick. That's 90% effective and legit. This COVID thing is real and it will find you. It's killing our people, let me remind you. Back in the days, there was polio, smallpox. Back in the days, measles and mumps, man. Back in the days, but because of the vaccines, none of those days. Vaccines, they work to trigger immunity. 2 shots, we got antibody security. We gotta act now, no need to wait. Get your vaccine before it's too late, for real. Super cool. I want to break that down a bit and ask, first of all, why? I'm sure there's 100 reasons, but why is it that COVID is affecting Black communities more than white communities, which is one of the things that he was rapping about? Why is that?
Oh my goodness, there's a multitude of reasons for that.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, if you look at the statistics on pretty much any, chronic disease in this country, it is Black Americans that are bearing the brunt of many of these conditions, from hypertension to diabetes. And there are structural and systemic reasons for that. And I feel that the COVID pandemic has once again revealed and exposed some of those foundational causes. So part of it is that, part of it is systemic and structural, having to do with access to resources, and food deserts and the like. But at this point, for example, in LA County, it's Black Americans in LA County that are representing the highest number of hospitalizations and new cases and deaths from COVID. COVID is still here. A lot of people feel like, the numbers are going down. It's gone. No. COVID is still here. It is still very real. And so a lot of people feel as though they're very distrustful of the vaccine. They feel as though it may be harmful, specifically to Black Americans in some way.
Conspiracy theorists, craziness. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's a lot of conspiracy theory around just the origins of the pandemic itself, and the use of the vaccine to control the masses, or surveillance. And then a lot of people actually just, they really put their faith in kind of the natural healing science of the African diaspora that really focuses on herbal supplementation, eating a healthy diet, sunlight, water. And I have so much respect for that. I have respect for that particular approach as well, just in terms of keeping your body and temple healthy in order to fight, in order to withstand something like COVID. However, what people need to understand is that even if you have COVID and don't have symptoms, or very mild symptoms and, are not affected by it, every person that is not vaccinated presents an opportunity for the virus to mutate and evolve into something that is worse, that we can't control.
That's the variant. That's how those variants are coming out now, right?
Exactly. And these variants are more contagious, and it's possible that they could become more virulent in the future. And so when we're talking about vaccines, it's not just about how is COVID going to affect you. We're talking about how can you protect your community, and the people around you, the people that you love. It's not just about you,
right?
It's everyone. It's about community and unity.
That's a great distinction. I've been saying, this is taking responsibility, not just for yourself, but your role in your relationship with others. So if you're not going to do it for yourself, at least do it for the people that you love. When we come back from break, I'm going to show a couple more that actually has our guest featured in those videos with DMC. And so I want you to keep it tuned to take my advice. I'm not using it. Get happy, get balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, AM 1050, FM 102.3, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere that you can imagine. So keep it here. We'll be right back. And we're back. You're tuned into take my advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa every morning now from 8 to 9 on KCAA, AM 1050, FM 102.3, FM 106.5. I just found out you can even catch me in Palm Springs. So as far as San Diego, as far over as LA, as far the other way as Palm Springs, because I'm here to splatter hope and happiness on you as much as possible, because that's my job, and to bring you guests that will help me with that Happy 88 mission, 88 million more happy people in the next 8 years. And my lovely guest today is someone that I met on location when the residents and interns at Harbor UCLA were asking for a little more attention from the Board of Supervisors for the sacrifice that they have had during this pandemic. And I know we pay some attention and gratitude and appreciation for our frontline health workers, but I just wanted to take a minute right now and thank especially the doctors and especially the doctors. I'm just going to highlight the doctors. I missed National Doctors Day with a little blessing you with Dr. Marissa's Beneficial Presence on the Planet award for the work that you've done in helping us get through the pandemic. That was for you and all of your colleagues. So we're back, and I'm going to show 2 more videos that feature our guest, Dr. Monique Hedmann, with these really helpful wrapping videos DMC made for a whole host of people in this nonprofit project. What's the website that they can go to?
It's www.hhph.org/community immunity.
Beautiful.
We got the vaccine, we got the vaccine, they got the vaccine, we got the vaccine. We can get back to normal, let me inform you, let's all get the vaccine. It's about community immunity. I'm talking unity for you and me. If Doc says it's good, trust me, it's good. Now let's all get the vaccine.
From the dot, she hit the spot. Then I felt a little tired and maybe a little hot. I was sore, my body and my head did ache. Woke up the next day and I was straight. It takes one shot and you're through, or you might need 2. Gotta get a repeat and wait a few weeks for the peace. Is that but the truth does speak? We in a peak. Vaccines can't prevent a defeat. Immunity said of eulogy, duty for the community. Getting it expeditiously, forget the conspiracy theories. Gotta get the blood ready to fight. With some antibodies set to kill the virus on sight. It don't matter which type, we get them for free. You can bet they set to protect us secretly. Roll up your sleeve, cause the vaccine is key. Cause it ain't about me, it's about we.
Vaccine. We can get back to normal, let me inform you, let's all get the vaccine. It's about community immunity. I'm talking unity for you and me. If Doc says it's good, trust me, it's good. Now let's all get the vaccine.
Hip hop doc,
What to do, Dr. Mo?
it's a SOS, we gotta let the folks know.
They believe that the vaccine is bad for you.
But we looked at the data and it just ain't true.
When I got the shot, it kind of felt like the flu.
Shoot, that's much better than the ICU.
The shot's pretty safe, but the Rona is cruel.
It could make you sick, could be the end of you.
It's vaccine or bust, but there's a lot of mistrust.
Cause the system is racist, that's the main basis.
But face it, the numbers don't lie.
We gotta survive and save black and brown
We
lives.
need community immunity to fight from
We
within.
need 8 out of 10 to get it in for the win.
To protect and defend and hug your mom again.
Cover your grin, let the healing begin.
I just love those videos.
Thank you.
Oh, wow. And did you ever think you'd be rapping with DMC?
I mean, I worked with the Hip Hop Public Health for several years, and I've done several songs for the organization, and it was always a dream to actually be featured on a video with one of our, hip hop pioneers that are affiliated with the organization. It was always a dream to become a cartoon as well.
That's beautiful. Well, very well done. And it hits, I call it put the moose on the table, my Canadian version of talking about the elephant in the room and addressing, the conspiracy theory, why, people are hesitant. I just covered an event in downtown in Boyle Heights, vaccine hesitancy with a football Hall of Famer, Anthony Munoz, who put the moose on the table around how you will not be looked at for your immigration papers when you get a vaccine. So I think it's important for us to put the truth on the table. Okay, let's talk about herd immunity. So you hear about that all the time. What is the mechanics on that? Because I'm really not clear as well. And how many people need to have the vaccine before we get to that point?
Well, the concept of herd immunity, and this applies to many different conditions, viral infections that are in the population. Essentially, and the numbers vary, so people will say 8 out of 10, some people will say 9 out of 10. But 80 to 90% of people, if they are protected against a particular pathogen, whether via natural immunity or via immunity that they get from a vaccine, it prevents the infection from propagating and spreading through the masses. And that is really what we're trying to achieve. That is and was our goal with COVID. And if you stop enough people from getting it, then it can't spread. This is what's happened with, this is what had happened with measles. It's what we've achieved with polio. And when you have folks that are like, I'm not getting the vaccine, or that refuse to get the vaccine, that's why we started to see more cases of measles. For example, I remember not too long ago, we had like outbreaks here in California. And it's just, these are very deadly diseases.
Mm-hmm.
Not anything to play with.
Mm-hmm.
Particularly with COVID, a lot of people are like, oh, I'm young, I'm healthy, like, I exercise, I drink water, I take herbs, I don't need a vaccine. And for a lot of those people, like, even if they were to get COVID, they would probably withstand it just fine. However, there's a lot of people who were previously healthy who have gotten COVID and gotten very sick or died.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no way to know how the virus will affect you as an individual. And even if you were to withstand it, you could easily pass it on to someone that could not withstand the virus and could die from it. And that is why this conversation is so important.
Absolutely. And thank you for bringing it to the forefront and what you do. So now, anything else before I switch over to the other thing that you do that's kind of cool?
All I'll say is that, you have to respect people's knowledge and wisdom and independence. You have to respect what people choose to do or not do with their bodies. My ultimate goal is that I would never recommend something that based on what I've seen, the information that I've processed, I would never recommend something that was harmful. It is our oath to only share information that is going to benefit people and their health. And I'll just say, all I want is for people to make accurately informed decisions about what they're going to do with their body and what they will put in their body. Mm-hmm. and respect people's independence and autonomy, but also make sure that people have the accurate information and the facts to make a decision for themselves.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And, if I had one wish, it would be that conspiracy theory would go away. I think it has hurt our country so badly on every front. And so if you're listening, please share this information, which is not conspiracy. It is empirically based. Medical science is not a bad word. That's the other thing that I wish, this whole pandemic has just created so much rift. And I almost feel like we're back in China's Cultural Revolution, where things like medical science were poo-pooed and persecuted. Doctors were persecuted. Scientists were persecuted. And it's like, really, are we back there? I just don't understand it. But my only defense is to continue to bring people like Dr. Monique on with the truth, about vaccines. So please, please, please let us do this together. There's so much of life to be lived post pandemic, but we cannot get through to the end of the pandemic until we are achieving herd immunity with those vaccinations. So thank you so much.
Thank you. And I just, thank you so much for highlighting it. Why do we do this work as doctors? Because we love people and we want to protect people. And frankly, the folks that are out here on the internet spreading this disinformation about
Bullshit
the
talkie.
virus. I mean,
Bullshit talkie. Yeah, that's what I call it.
The bottom line, it is essentially death and illness has been exchanged for clicks and likes in this pandemic. And that is essentially what's happening. And so you putting this information, people are putting this information out there, getting more followers, getting clicks and likes, but there's people that are not getting the vaccine and are getting sick and dying because of what they're seeing on the internet. This is real consequences. And until these folks are really taken to task, this is going to continue to happen. And, there's people that won't trust me off the strength of the fact that I'm a doctor, which is really disconcerting considering that I spent myself and other doctors, we spent so much time in our lives to train to do this work so that we could help and protect people. And so, when people, accuse us of like being about profit or trying to be about ourselves. And it's very hurtful. But it's not even about us. It's just saddening. It's really just saddening that people have this idea and don't trust us as physicians when all we really want to do is process the information to bring good health to the masses. So I want to thank you for highlighting the work that we're trying to do to keep
my blessing
safe.
It's my blessing. Yeah, in French, the expression I use is incroyable mais vrai. It's incredible but true how doctors who spend their entire life and life savings to become helpers are now being questioned and persecuted through this pandemic. I just beyond me how this is happening. So if you're a naturopath doctor, please, there's room for both and there's room to respect medical science. So that's all I'll say. I'm going to keep saying it until it gains some traction. So another wonderful thing that I found out is you're also involved in this whole area of Alzheimer's and art. So please do tell me about that work and how we can support that work.
Thank you for asking. So anyone that knows me knows that I love working with older adults. That's my passion. And, I'm a family medicine physician and I intend to specialize in geriatrics. And I developed that passion working with older adults here in Los Angeles. And so Arts and Minds is a concept that came about right after I finished my public health degree at Columbia. I met Dr. James Noble, one of my mentors, who's in the neurology department at Columbia, and Carolyn Halpin Healy, who is an amazing arts educator who's worked in many different museums in the New York area. And also Chantal Lawson, who's with the Studio Museum of Harlem. We all came together and put our heads together because there were these amazing programs at the MoMA and the Met for people with dementia and their caregivers, them in art. And what we found is that they were not available to, people in Upper Manhattan, the Bronx, and beyond, Black and Brown communities who are more affected in higher numbers by Alzheimer's and other forms of dementia. And we wanted to make these amazing programs available to Black and Brown communities. And that's how Arts and Minds was formed. We started with a tiny pilot program. It was me kind of pounding pavement in Harlem and passing out flyers and encouraging people to come. And now we have this amazing organization that provides programs throughout the week in bilingual English and Spanish. And then during COVID, we adapted to have online programs on the internet, and it's amazing to see this program go to blossom into what it has. And essentially, what we're trying to talk about is the fact that art engages the brain in a way that is so unique, that can really combat not only caregiver fatigue and really kind of promote the connection between family and caregiver and the person they're caring for with Alzheimer's, but it really stimulates those long-term memories that are there and can really help to fight, sundowning and other types of behaviors that we see in advanced dementia. And our participants get so much joy from these programs. And so my dream is to establish Arts and Minds here in Los Angeles, that people with Alzheimer's and their caregivers could reap the benefits of arts engagement, and how it can help to mitigate some of the symptoms of Alzheimer's.
Beautiful. So if you're listening and you have a relative, or maybe your dad even, we just had Happy Father's Day, and if they have Alzheimer's, which is unfortunate, at the same time, there's resources and help that's available that is free. This is a nonprofit, and so those of you who are listening who know individuals who have Alzheimer's and feel helpless in your ability to help, this is definitely somewhere. It's a Dr. Marissa's hashtag Be the Change kind of organization that you can help with donations. That website is
www.artsandminds.org.
Arts and Minds. Is there any punctuation in that? No,
just
ARTSNMINDS, Arts and Minds. Yeah. So just you said you developed this love for adult care when you got to Los Angeles. Personal story was there an individual that sort of got you to that place?
A lot of people that are interested in geriatrics generally have older adults that touch their lives as children, and that is the case with me. My mother is a physician, and because she was so busy, there were a lot of older family members and extended family members that helped care for me, while she was working so hard. And that's really how I came up with so many amazing older folks.
Mm-hmm.
And specifically, I'll speak about Miss Johnson, who I've actually written a piece about. She's a 75-year-old woman from Baton Rouge. She has what I will call, the term is called triple jeopardy, older Black woman. And, as a child, seeing the various things that she went through in terms of navigating that identity really had impressed upon me. And then as I got older and I saw the struggles of older adults and the people that take care of them, I realized that someone has to address this. And in particularly in communities of color, it needs to be addressed in a culturally congruent and competent way. And so I was just inspired. And if you look at the numbers in terms of the baby boomers, and they're starting to retire. And in the next few years, our baby boomers are going to be in their 70s and 80s, and are going to need really directed, specific, complex care.
Absolutely.
We don't have enough geriatricians to meet that need.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope to help meet that need, which is it's here now, and it's going to be even more so in the future.
Beautiful. Yeah, my mom has Parkinson's, so she's also, it's tough aging. That expression, you don't stop laughing because you grow older because you stop laughing. And I keep telling that to her all the time, because it's so hard not to focus on the loss of your body capacity as you're aging, and it's got to be depressing. So absolutely, art as therapy, music as therapy, keeping people's spirits high as there's still stuff to live for. And I think that's wonderful. And so once again, I gave the Dr. Marissa's Beneficial Presence on the Planet Award to all the doctors in the pandemic, but I'm giving it to you specifically, Dr. Moni. Like applause.
Thank you.
Yeah. I really, truly, I just love, and just to give you an example of why I have a great sense about people and who to invite on the show. She just said, she could have said, yeah, I was, I didn't have my mom around. I would basically had to, raise myself, or I got shuffled off to all the other relatives, which is a story that I can hear many people say who don't look for the blessing that is in there. And her mom was a doctor. She followed in her footsteps. She was grateful that she had older relatives to care for her, and as a result developed a love in the whole care for the aging. I mean, come on, folks. That's why she's my new friend, and that's why she's on my show. And I know I constantly cajole people to drink my rose-colored Kool-Aid and to try to be as positive as possible. But there's only one reason for that, really. Fundamentally, it just feels better. So if you've listened to this show, you have your marching orders around vaccines, you have your marching orders around, helping the Black community with vaccine and vaccine hesitancy. You have your marching orders around aging and helping Alzheimer's with art therapy and bringing that program here to LA. So there's so much you can do instead. And thank you for choosing to listen to this positive stuff, because there's so much negativity out there. You just open your phone, but hopefully you're tuned in here. You're part of my Happy 88 tribe. And then my final question that I always ask my guests is, to who and what are you most grateful for, Dr. Monique Hedmann?
Oh gosh, there's just so many people in my life that have touched my life and encouraged me along the way, that never allowed me to give up, and kept me steady on the path. Obviously, my parents, Helena, Sean, Anthony, my best friend Almaz, my mentors, Dr. Williams and Dr. Noble, Dr. Moreland. There's so many people to name. My siblings, everyone. I can't even. I can't even talk about. I can't even.
Everybody.
I just want to thank the people. You know who you are. That even in times of crisis and times of doubt, that believed in me and kept me going to achieve what I've been able to achieve thus far. And what I also want to say is I'm grateful for the leaders, the people that have put their names and reputation on the line to do what is right, to serve the people and the masses in the way that needs to be done. The people that are fighting for justice. I want to thank those people because it takes a lot of courage to do that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And there, it was purposeful that I could have picked a number of doctors and they were all great, and your colleagues were great that spoke there. But I was particularly, I want to highlight and bring to the forefront colorful women. I think that women of color who are powerful, who have a voice, it's our time. It is our time to take that leadership position, and also to encourage the younger women of color that are coming up, that it's our time. This is our time. It's not I'm not male bashing. I'm not, white bashing. I'm just saying that it is time for women of color to step in to the forefront and share our experience and our strength and our hope with all the world, that we do have a voice, that we do, we are encouragers, but we can do that with power. Yes. She's in my colorful, powerful woman circle now. Dr. Monique Hedmann, thank you so much for coming to my show. One more time, the web addresses for those two organizations that I wanted to spotlight today are?
So it's Hip Hop Public Health, www.hhph.org/community immunity, and then www.artsandminds.org.
Fabulous. And I wanted to give also a shout out to your organization that I met you through, that is standing up and asking for some positive attention from the Board of Supervisors. And that organization is?
The Committee of Interns and Residents, CIR, of which I'm a proud delegate, advocating on behalf of the residents and fellows that are employed through LA County.
Beautiful. All right, and that's it for another beautiful morning here on Take My Advice, I'm Not Using It. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show. Thank you so much for joining me today. Tune back tomorrow, 8 to 9 every morning on your drive or your walk or your listen here at KCAA, AM 1050, FM 102.3, FM 106.5. If you missed this and getting the tail end, you can find me on my YouTube channel, Dr. Marissa P for positive, EI, and also all social, including Instagram, Doc Balance, where you'll see my interviews with people like Dr. Monique Hedmann when I am #Dr. Marissa reporting live. Thank you so much for tuning in on KCAA, the station that leaves no listener behind. Have the best day ever.